know every 2 weeks or so, instead of grammar and editing, we're going to do some review work. So today we're going to do a little bit of practice with the multiple choice that we went over last time. So the way I'm going to have you guys do this, I'm going to pass this out. I want you to take 10 minutes or however long it takes everyone to finish. Read through and answer the questions, and there's a couple that I've gotten rid of because it's been too long yesterday. Read through, answer the questions. There's 3 on the back. And then we will get into small groups. I'm going to have you guys talk about your answers, come up with one collective set, and then as a larger group, whole class, we're going to come up with a collective set of answers, and I'll see how you guys did as a class. So, sound good? Oh, so these hole punch 20. So the hole punch is on this side, but this is the front page. I trust you guys can figure that out. I just need the computer. And this should be done silently. We'll say we'll go into the 6. got 2 more minutes. If you don't finish, it's okay. So if you didn't finish, that's okay. We're gonna keep working with this, obviously. So let's see. I need 7 groups, and I think there's 23 of you here today. So groups of 3, and I think we'll need 2 of 4. You guys can do that. I'll let you pick your own groups this time. So as long as you do it quickly. You can group your desks together so you can talk. I don't know this one.
You're softer than that. He's independent. This is what I'm talking about. Love those walls. Alright, let's do this. When teachers are sure, they're like, oh no, you're Ryan? No, wait, no, you're
As long as you're in consensus on your answers, take about 7 minutes.
I don't know. I was
very inspired.
It was hard.
I think we were really lacking that with our.
I said he lost in our hair. I said Boston's
Make sure you tell me why you picked the answer that you did.
I might not
That's fine. Because her education is I know what I mean.
I mean, like, everyone's got like college board ones.
Alright, one more minute.
Even if you but it's first in the sense of being like abstract medicine. So I mean,
Alright, we're gonna come in. Don't worry, finish. We're gonna talk about it over. This is the eyes. Let me see your eyes. Okay, so we don't need to like rearrange the desk, so let's just try to all turn our chairs so we're looking at everybody so that we can have this large discussion. We're gonna actually do small, we're gonna stay in these groups for the next activity, which is why I don't wanna move the desks again, you know, but. Okay, does anybody want to be a recorder up here of the entire class's answers? Yes.
Very nice.
So I'm gonna grab my. Okay. Alright, number 12. The author's attitude towards George Eliot is best described as one of. I want want you guys to talk about it. I've got a little bit of a sore throat, so I don't want to do the talking. I want you guys to figure out what answer you want to put up on the board.
I think the answer is profound admiration.
Consensus?
Yeah,
Right,
great.
enough. Yes. Wait. Patrick's gonna expand on that answer for me.
So, the reason why I thought it personally was profound admiration was that the bottom part of the excerpt just wouldn't stop, praising her, saying that even though she was a woman, she was able to do all the things that a man could. She was triumphant. She sought more knowledge and freedom. So I thought that was very inspiring. So that's why I thought profound admiration. That's how we regarded her.
Is there a reason why you didn't think it was devotion? Because that was what the other class was arguing about test.
Because it didn't say anything like that would really. It was admiring her and talking about her accomplishments instead of saying things that would imply that they would go anywhere, do anything for this person, showing that type of devotion.
It wasn't blind.
Extreme. It wasn't extreme admiration, which could maybe be devotion. But
Good. So B is the correct answer for that one. 13. I'm clapping every time. 13. If we get them all right at the end, we can clap. According to the speaker, George Eliot's heroines are cloistered because they are
Perhaps it is
Perhaps
So we've got B.
Perhaps.
I said
I think C.
Someone else, I heard something else.
It may be E.
Yeah, I think it's B and you see how this is. I think the first time I read it, I thought it was taken more literally, so I put A. But then I realized that I think it's more making a metaphor out of it or comparing. So I took it more figuratively, and I ended up with B.
Anyone want to speak up for a different answer?
no. I think Callie,
I think
So
Callie
it's
was
you.
spot on.
Brian?
Yes. B does not appear to be illegitimate. However, E could also be a possible answer. The sentence it's in seems to be making a point of the idea of kind of an abstract prayer that doesn't really have any kind of direction, but it uses that theme of praying. It doesn't actually mean anything, but it's using metaphors to sound cool and profound. So that may have some significance.
Yeah, going off Brian's, all of the other ones actually have to do with church or prayer, and it's not really saying it's not using that as a concrete noun, I guess. It's just using it as an example to illustrate how she was alone in her thoughts and her actions.
Okay, one more thought and then we'll pick an answer.
So I actually disagree with Ryan's thought process, if I may. So I think that if it were lost in prayer, which is answer E, that would be a bit repetitive. So I went with the more abstract approach, just like Callie did, and that is how I arrived at my conclusion, which was B, which is essentially wrong. Yep.
Okay, so as a class, do we feel good with B as an answer?
Arguing why he was wrong in choosing B.
Okay.
That's subjectively wrong. I said it was a possibility.
All right.
Is Bay right?
Which? Oh, yes, B is right.
No, you should wait to tell us until
You want me to tell you at the end?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Okay, I like that. That's what I did with the last class, and Mr. Darling asked why I did that, and I think I'm gonna stick to it.
Yeah.
So, stick to your gun. 14. In context, the facts of human existence. What? B.
Third band.
I personally had E.
Okay.
I don't think it's right.
I said B, and then we've changed to A. I feel like it might be B because it's most of not one.
Let's hear somebody speak up for E. Do you want to take it?
It's 14.
It said,
Guys, I want everyone listening.
Well, she's talking kind of about there's something that is perhaps incompatible with the facts of human existence, and since she's saying that it is restricted to women, I feel like you would say it's incompatible with being restricted to women, but it's incompatible when it only pertains to men.
So what answer are you speaking of?
Yeah.
So,
Does that make
so the
sense?
facts of human existence pertain only to men?
Yes, yes. Yes, that was my answer.
Okay. Who wants to speak up? I'm gonna go with Debbie because
Alright,
I can hear some differences.
I said B because she talks about in the line before about the ancient consciousness of women charged with suffering and sensibility and for so many ages dumb seems in them to have brimmed and overflowed and uttered a demand for something they scarcely know what for something that is incomparable with the facts of human existence. So it's saying that I think it's saying that women are been treated lesser and that people consider them as dumb, and so that human existence was restricted to women. It wasn't like they weren't allowed to live fully because of their restrictions.
So I said A restricts both men and women because the word from the question that led me to believe that was facts. And in reality, men and women are equal, and so privilege does not factor into disillusions about gender. So I thought it was both men and women because that's how reality treats both of them.
So I'm glad that you think that, and that is our reality today, hopefully.
But-
But during this time,
1919.
during this time, yeah. So this is 1919. What they thought was reality was fact was not necessarily that everyone was equal. I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I'm just saying that I'm glad that you say that that's reality now, and I don't think it is entirely, but definitely wasn't at this point.
If it was, we wouldn't speak just like
Emma Watson.
I want.
Okay, one more comment, then we'll vote. Brian?
I think many of us said B, right?
Yeah.
That was our initial reaction. So my reason why it would be that, as opposed to Taylor's answer, is that it would pertain to women if it was restricting them. So it kind of has to be.
Okay. So do we want to vote? Who thinks B?
I think B.
That looks like just about everybody. Okay. Alright, so I crossed out 15, right?
Yeah.
16. The differences mentioned in line 31 pertain to Elliot's
E.
Okay. I want to hear one person speak up for E, and then does anyone have a different answer?
Yeah.
I want to hear one person speak up for whatever other answer. So who wants to speak for E?
For what, 16?
I can.
Alright.
I think it's gender because in line 31, it says clasping them as few women have ever clasped them. She would not renounce her own inheritance. The difference of view, the difference of standard, nor accept the inappropriate reward. Like, I think the differences lie in her gender, and like that really makes up what she thinks and what she is. And I think like the other like popular answer would be like upbringing, but she's not necessarily saying like that was different than anything else, but just the fact that she was born a female like is the reason of these.
Okay. Who wants to speak up for a different answer? You have a different answer?
Yeah, I did say upbringing, because when it says, I mean, obviously I don't know if it's right, but her own inheritance, her difference of view, she's not talking, I don't think she's talking about that her difference is the gender, because there's millions of women, but the unique part about her is her opinion or her upbringing, and the difference of standard is, it's not like she's going to renounce becoming, when it says she would not renounce her inheritance, she's not going to renounce being a woman. She's always going to be a woman. But her upbringing is kind of her morals and her opinions, and since those are often gone against, that's what would be challenged, and that's her whole difference of view and difference of standard.
Okay. Does anyone have a different answer? You have a different answer, Ryan?
Upbringing is also a strong possibility. But I ultimately settled on E, which is gender.
Talked about gender already.
Yes, I know. I'm just making my piece
Okay.
in order.
Quick case. I just don't want to take up too much time.
Ryan, you have 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, so
quick sentence.
the main thing of the writing piece seemed to be talking about a lot of unique traits of women's experience and being, which it seems to be saying that set of attributes is not what she's announcing.
Okay. So we want to vote. Just say what you think. B?
E.
I mean E.
The writing.
Anyone think C?
Yeah.
Okay, it seems like the majority is E. Alright, 7, did I cross 17 off? Yeah, okay. On the back, 18. In the sentence beginning, what? Thus we behold her. The speaker employs all of the following except A. What do you guys have down?
I have B.
Can I explain?
Okay, so we've got D, we've got C, and we've got A. Does anyone have anything else? What? Somebody said B. Yes. Okay, Devin.
Alright, so we talked to Miss Sigler for this one, and A, she told us meant two nouns are next to each other, and in that quote, two nouns are not next to each other. B, there is no exaggeration.
Well,
Two
this
nouns are
one
not next to each
employs
other.
all of the
Yeah,
following
okay.
except.
No.
Otherwise,
Whoa.
And
We picked it together, so
I was not part of it.
there you were.
So it's that.
Do you want to stop your testimony?
You just said.
I'm gonna go.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm gonna B now.
okay, you take a second to think.
There's no question.
Lila, what did you have?
I had A.
A. Can you tell me why?
I guess.
Yes. Okay. Hey, that's a valuable reason on this test. We talked about that. Okay. Patrick, what do you have?
I looked through all the answers and realized that the only one I knew of all any kind of hyperbole personification. But this is one of those questions where you don't really need to know all of the words, you just need to know like a few familiar ones. So personification is describing something with like human characteristics. So I didn't really see any non-human object being described with PI. So that's what I mean.
What about love?
Love.
Go for it.
Back to the arm. Oh,
Shuddering back to
I told you, I preached, bro.
Avery's gonna make a point.
I said
a hungry ambition. Ambition. Hungry is a human characteristic. Ambition.
Avery.
I got it.
Amen.
Okay. Atif, what did you have?
Oh, I had personification.
Okay. Did anyone have anything else?
Yeah, you want.
Okay, how about we just vote on this one and then we'll go back and talk about it.
Yeah.
So A. Raise your hand for A. B. Okay, A. 3 B's. Personification.
C.
D. Relative clauses.
Not everyone's voting.
E.
I have no
I'll vote for
idea.
E.
Well, A has.
Write
Okay,
every
we'll write
single
A for
one.
now and then we'll go
It's
over
not.
it.
It's okay to be wrong.
It's okay to be wrong.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Okay, 19.
Everybody has those days.
Okay. It is reasonable to assume that the phrase a fastidious yet hungry ambition.
I said A is spoken by one of Eliot's heroines. Because it makes sense.
Okay. Anybody else? Alright, it is. 20. Generally, the style of the entire passage is best described as. Tess, what did you pick?
For
20.
20, E, intellectually intelligent.
How come?
Because I thought it wasn't like, it was admiring her as we talked about earlier, and it was talking about like things just besides like her. So it was kind of, I wasn't confused for this one, but I don't know, intellectual and cynical just kind of made me think of more like, I guess, the mood of it seemed more intellectual, opposed to like sympathetic. It wasn't like pitying her in any way, like abstract. I guess abstract. Yeah, but E.
Okay, so we've got E. Raleigh.
I thought D because it talks about the passage like without we don't really know like all of the players in the passage. I guess like the heroines, like that's like an abstract idea, and like the fact of her like standing alone and like it's like it's not like real. It's not in this physical world that we're talking about it either, or we're not like metaphorically like making this story. It's kind of like in between. So then.
So we've got D, we've got E. Right?
Yes, I don't think it's E. It doesn't seem cynical. It seems a little more uplifting and abstract than that. And I feel like if it was intellectual, it would make more use of like logical arguments and facts than just like pure liquid hyperbole.
Same with
Okay.
C.
So what answer did you
So
pick?
it can't be C.
It's not very cool.
What did you
Can't be D
pick?
either, 'cause there's
I picked D.
Okay. Do you want to vote? D?
D.
D.
Yeah.
E.
what metaphysical aspect is there in these? There's nothing metaphysical.
But they're not. I mean,
There's
they're not.
absolutely nothing metaphysical.
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
from
these
all
are-
that stuff,
Let's
take
take
this
it.
practice test.
From
more
what I could read.
serious.
No, I was
Check your
just giving
privilege,
it-
Patrick.
Oh my god.
Patrick, you can disagree.
I was just
okay?
saying there was nothing.
Alright.
Patrick
We'll put-
suggests there is no
we'll put-
answer to.
We'll put D right now and then we'll talk about it.
Alright.
Okay. So
Answer this.
Just get rid of this question.
there's a round of applause on the line here. 12 is B. We covered that. 13 is B. 14 is B.
Okay.
Let's see, we skipped 15. 16 is E. We skipped 17. 18 is D.
We had it right! I voted for D.
You guys know what a relative clause is?
No clue.
Okay.
Well,
Thanks to this one.
Hey.
Thanks to this one.
Maybe we don't know.
I don't really know what
What?
Give an example. Yeah, so it starts with a relative phrase. So, Devin, who plays football. Let's see. The school where I teach. So it's that phrase. It starts with a relative. It starts with a relative word. Relative blanking on the phrase. But anyways, that is a relative clause. So it describes the noun starting with one of those words: a who, a which, a that, a what.
So it's not being used.
And it's not being used. Apposition is two. What did we have?
Two nouns next to each other.
Wait, where does it say that? So at the very beginning, when it says, "Thus we behold her, a memorable figure." So her and a memorable figure, two noun phrase, right next to each other. Personification, the arms of love. We mentioned that. Parallelism comes in where she says, it's sentence structure, yeah, and it says. Reserved, shutting back. It also reaching out with and then confronting her feminine aspirations with. Those are also parallel structures. So that is why that one is D. 19 is A. It's not B in that case because in the actual passage there are quotation marks, which means it doesn't come from the speaker, it comes from another word. It's not coming from a critic because, as we said, this isn't a passage that's admiring Eliot. It is to be taken seriously. It seems like this author wants to be taken seriously, and it obviously does represent the speaker point of view. So. 20 is C. Sweet.
Oh, nice.
What the heck?
Wait.
Okay.
Okay. So I know it seems
How
like
does she
it's
sympathize?
What like actual facts does it state? Like,
so concrete means it refers to tangible things, and it does. It refers to George Eliot. It refers to one of her heroines by name. It refers to, even though it doesn't refer to specific works, it's still talking about her works. It's drawing its evidence from her writing. That is concrete. I know it's hard because it's not like a typical, like, in Huck Finn, he says this. It's not as concrete as that, but it is referring to concrete ideas. It's not metaphysical, it's not dealing with higher levels.
Yeah, but how do we even know the heroines are
Sympathetic,
real?
it's not like,
It's sympathetic.
It's sympathetic towards her.
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, it's definitely
Sympathetic to
sympathetic.
George Eliot's plight. That's a good way to put it. It's
But-
not
But
cynical
how do we
means,
even know if the heroines are real? It's so like metaphorical.
Yeah, I thought like her heroines.
I thought heroines were more like
Heroines are female heroes.
Those are her
Yeah, but they don't need
names
to
in
be
her
real
books.
people.
They're not real.
Did
They're
you
not
say they're
real
not
people.
people?
They're fictional. Hey.
What up?
I'm gonna take 2 more minutes and then we're gonna move on from this. They are not real people in the sense that they live, but they are a real concrete thing that you can talk about. Harry Potter, concrete character, but not. I don't know how to explain it. It's not an abstract idea. It's not something that doesn't exist yet. It's a character in a book that's been written down that we can discuss.
Derek, the fact is, we don't get enough applause,
Okay. No, not really.
okay?
I'm trying to think of a better way to say it.
Because I feel like you can.
No, effort doesn't mean
That's not how
that.
school works.
Like,
Oh, can it be, is it information that's only interpreted in like one way, like it's not like.
it's not necessarily that it's interpreted in one way. It's just
What if we were like aliens were gonna come and like eat us?
Yeah, but you can.
Non-concrete.
that's
Yeah.
another way. So abstract, like a smell
Yeah.
or
But I can
a
describe it.
feeling. You can describe it, yes, but
Can you
can't-
touch a feeling?
yeah.
Well, you can't touch a big person.
Are you
No,
saying what
it's
I'm
not
saying?
that
Like, theoretically, touch Harry Potter.
It's more like okay. Here's how about this? How's this for a deal?
What?
Well, I give you guys the next activity. Well, I give you guys the next activity. I'm gonna look more into this, and I'll come back at the end of class with an explanation for you. Good? Okay. So I want you guys to stay in your groups. Remember, I gave you guys the choice to make your own groups, but we don't know. I'm gonna give you guys each a question about 1984 that we've read so far. They'll be put up on the projector. I want your groups to talk about that, and then we're gonna come back and share with the class. So each of your groups is gonna be responsible for teaching the rest of the class about that question. And the answers we come up with can serve as a study guide for the quiz that we're gonna have next class.
We're having 2 assessments.
Wait, what? We're having a reading quiz on book 1 next class. It'll be brief, it'll be quick.
Plus the grammar
The
test.
grammar test, yeah. The thing is that Mr. Darling and I planned these things separately, so I didn't know that these were gonna align.
What format will this quiz be
It's
taken?
gonna be brief, short answer questions.
When you say short answers, you mean
Stop.
like,
It'll be like what we had for Where Men Win Glory at the beginning of the year.
oh,
But
I
not as
remember.
many questions. I only want it to take 15 minutes. And
Multiple
This is book
choice.
one, right?
Book one.
Yeah.
Fill in the blanks.
What?
No. Book one is like.
The quiz is on book 1.
Oh, this is book one.
This was our AP practice. This is completely different.
I'm not gonna do that, by the way.
Okay, I'll deal with that after. I'm gonna put the questions up right now. I'm never gonna use this. These questions will give you an idea of what it is. Let me put the questions up before I